Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
Crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? We in the building, the place to be. Let me know if everything looks good, sounds good. Ellen V is on vacation, the producer. How'd she get vacation? I'm about to hit her with a no-call, no-show. So let me know if everything looks good, sounds good in the chat. We'll get this thing rocking and rolling. This is Coach Hayes on Coach Hayes Football, the Coach Me Coach podcast, Primetime Talk. Got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time to do it. So like I said, let me know everything looks good, sounds good, so we got to get this thing rocking and rolling. Just got off Hayes Street. Let it make it happen. Courtney Joe in the building said, what's up, my dude? What's up, Courtney? AKA Google, man. And College Bound CFL says, yo, what's happening, man? All right, so let's get this thing going. Coach Prime is in the news as always, but he's in the news especially for getting a contract extension for $54 million. Show me the monions. I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's actually, I think it's well-deserved. Hell, he should have got more, actually, and compared to what he has brought to the table. Now, there's been a lot of questions. Some people feel like he doesn't deserve it. Some people feel like he got what he deserved. Some people feel like he didn't get enough. I feel that he got what he deserved. It really should have probably gotten more. But I think there's different ways to get paid. There's ways to get paid on performance, ways to get paid on influence. And Coach Prime falls in a different category when you talk about coaching. Always has and probably always will. To his credit, there are very few coaches that will garner this much attention without winning, right? Initially, without winning. I don't know another coach that will get this much attention, buzz, fanfare without winning ball games or proving themselves on the gridiron. But Coach Prime does. That's part of his allure. That's who he is. That's what he does, right? Bigger than life. Prime time. Okay? Hell, even changed the name to Coach Prime. Everybody call him Prime, Coach Prime. Hell, Shannon Sharp call him Time. But I think people get paid for various reasons when it comes to a job, okay? And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately speaking on this topic. And what's interesting about this is both ends of the spectrum. You have a lot of coaches or people who have coaching backgrounds feels like he should not be the top four I think he's the top fourth highest paid coach in college football. Well, this is what I'll say to coaches. He's not getting paid for what he did on the gridiron. I think the 9 wins definitely helped him get there. But he's getting paid because of what he's doing with the program, what he's bringing, the fanfare, the money, all of that stuff. But other coaches, like the Ryan Days, the Dabo Sweeneys, the Nick Sabans, the Mario Cristobal, whoever, the only way they can justify their pay is by winning. And winning garners the attention. The more you win, more people want to come to the game, more people want to buy jerseys and other stuff. Prime had people buying stuff and they ain't even played a game. And that's where I think the difference is. Now you have the fans who say he should have got paid. And he was underpaid his first year. I think he made $5 million his first year. So was he underpaid at that time? Because I want to say they brought in $100 and something million and he only got $5 million of that. So I just simply said it is, man. Look here, you get what you're worth and know your worth. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. there are people who work at companies and businesses that produce in different ways, right? They're producing different ways. And that's what you get paid for. So I am behind Coach Prime, aka Deion Sanders, when it comes to this 100%. Hell, if you give him 20 million, I wouldn't care. All right. But in speaking of that, I do want to give a little detail in regards to his contract. All right. His total is $54 million over the next 5 years. It says Sanders is to receive $10 million in the total salary in 2025. And at 26, $11 million. 27 and 28 would be $12 million. In 29, excuse me. $11 million in 27 and 28, and then $12 million in 29. He also has a couple of incentives in there. Winning games beyond 9 games, he gets some money. Going to the Big 12 championship, he gets some money. Going to the Natty, he gets some money. And I think that's pretty standard when it comes to, if you look at coaching contracts. A lot of them have incentives. Some of them even have incentives about if you bring in, you get $20,000 or $40,000 for signing a 5-star. All right. There's other things in this contract that are pretty standard. A car, or SUV. I think he got 2 SUVs, a membership to the country club. Pretty standard stuff, right? I mean, when it comes to that part. Now, I know I saw something in one of these contracts where he has to, I guess there's a deal in there with Nike, so he has to wear some Nike stuff. He has to do radio appearances and other appearances. Some of this stuff may be pretty standard. So there's no knock to him. Now, does he have to produce? Sure he does. But guess what? It is what it is. This is part of the business. So I'm all for him making the $54 million there in Colorado. Because you remember when Rick George first hired him, I think somebody added, like, well, we ain't got the money yet, but they got plenty of it now. All right. And you have to think about this. Now, this is not the Colorado the University section of it, but Prime also has other business ventures outside of that, right? The blender shades, the almond commercials, all the other stuff, KFC, all the other things, Google. I believe they got Google going on. They got a bunch of other things they have going on as well. So the flow of money is not a problem. But just because I got it don't mean I don't deserve more and deserve what I'm worth for what I'm doing for this institution. The city itself. Think about the city of Boulder, right? Not a poor town, but on Saturday nights, people ain't flocking to these restaurants unless the game is happening. And we know what Colorado was before. I get that. I understand that, so forth. But if you just think about it, the airport within itself on Saturdays, the hotels, the restaurants, the Uber drivers. Think about Uber drivers. I wonder what I would love to see something simple as that. What is the Uber driver income increase since Prime has been there? Meaning getting people around Boulder, maybe Ubering from the airport from Denver to Boulder on Saturdays, those 6 Saturdays a year, or whatever the case may be. Hell, I ain't mad at them. Prime, do your thing, make it happen, man. But at the end of the day, like any other coach, you got to win some ball games, man. So go ahead and make that happen. Also, the NCAA has denied, I'm going to throw this number up here too, 862-799-9956 if you'd like to call on in so we can chop up some of this. Normal guy, what's happening? The NCAA has denied the joint practice, I'll call it, between Syracuse and Colorado. All right. I think Fran Brown had some very interesting, and he was joking. I get it, but I believe there was some truth behind what he was saying. All right. He kind of said what he had to say. But for people that don't know, let me get you caught up. Coach Prime put out there and said he would love to do joint practices in the spring, very similar to the NFL. And I've always said, in college football, major college football, I don't see why they are so different. Everything college football does is so different than the norm, right? You have spring football in major college. But even in high school, you play other teams. They call it spring game. Used to be the jamborees. You play the, crosstown rivals. Some people go out of state and play other teams, right? For spring ball. NFL, they do it where they have joint practices and so forth. Well, Prime brought this up again, and I want to be clear. He brought it up. He can bring the spotlight to it, but he is not the first coach to bring this up. However, he has brought the spotlight back to it. And Fran Brown, once he made that announcement, Fran Brown reached out and said, hey, we'll meet you in Boulder for 3 days. So he kind of was, the other coach to second that motion. And so it kind of went around. I guess they filed paperwork to try to get it done, so forth and so on, and it didn't happen. The NCAA has now said nope. And I think the NCAA is full of it because they gave reasons like, well, the kids will miss class and unfair advantages and yada, yada, yada. But I swear we got March Madness going on right now. You got kids ain't been in school in a month. Most of these kids taking online classes right now. They don't even go to school. They don't know what the inside of a classroom looks like on that college campus. So NCAA, you can miss me with that explanation. Now, if you want to give me another explanation, I understand. But that explanation, that's for people that don't know any better. But I want to play this right quick with Fran Brown giving an explanation about what he was saying.
We should have just told Coach Belichick and Bill O'Brien to come up with it, and then they would have let them do it, and then it would have all went right. We shouldn't have been the first two dudes to say, damn well they wasn't about to let Coach Prime Time and Fran Brown be the first two guys to do it. It was over their dead bodies, so that wasn't happening that way. I'm just messing with you, NCAA. Don't get all mad and call out my AD and try to find me. I'm literally joking, but I think that they were headed in the right direction, right? And they had all the right reasons. It wouldn't have gave everybody the same opportunity, right? It would have been a little advantage and it wasn't about us being able to practice, because us practicing together would have only limited the amount of people on the field. It would have been 11 on the field now instead of, we goes 2 spots, so it's 44. So now instead of that, it would have been 11 going at a time, right? The financial literacy stuff that me and Coach Prime was talking about being able to do would have been something that these kids would have been take with them for a long time. And then we was going to have it set up where our study hall was going to be together. Guys was going to be in there doing work and things of that nature. So we were trying to build like a full family more so than just, hey, the spring game is going to do that. That would have been a cool event at the spring game. But it was more so about this spring ball thing. Everyone's trying to like fade away from it. They don't want everyone to see it. So we're trying to bring some light to it to say like, hey, this is a huge event, right? This would have been a huge fight like going on. You'd have been able to see us play them on April the 18th, the day before Easter in Colorado. Like, everything would have sold out, right? So now you could have been able to look forward to that. You could get Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, like those dudes aren't all in the same conference. Well, I don't really know the conference, but you can get all them down and start playing each other, doing different things like that. I think that would be amazing if we start doing that. I heard Temple and Penn State was trying to, Lincoln afterwards. I don't know what that would have been, but it was just a good deal, like to have people go and do it, right? So see how it goes. I think that we've opened it up, and it should happen next year. It should be cool.
Interesting take. Now, Fran Brown, I get it, but you was dead serious, and I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, friend. I know you had to say that piece on the NCAA. I was just joking, but you planted that seed, and I ain't mad at you. Bill O'Brien. Belichick. Maybe it would have got passed. Maybe those guys should have called, hey, Bill, I need you to plant this seed, right? And then y'all come up and say, hey, you know what, man, we can't do it, but I got an alternate in there, man. Let me see if I call Prime. Maybe they could do it. And then Bill O'Brien get on the line and say, hey, I was going to do it, but my daughter got a piano recital. Let me see if I call somebody that could take my place. Hey, Fran Brown, y'all cool? Maybe we would have got in that way. But I think this was about just planting a seed. And I will say this. And what Fran Brown said about the unfair advantage, I believe it does become that because it's not a whole thing. And that's where the problem is, right? You got 2 schools doing it. You got 133 something schools out there in a Division I. So it does become an unfair advantage to those 2 schools. However, I think the seed has been planted deep enough now where it can start growing some roots. And like he said, you start to see other schools jumping on. Penn State, Temple, right? And we're talking right there in the same place, right? Maybe in-state teams may not be Power 4, but it may be in-state schools that are close. Florida State, USF, that maybe not play each other out of conference, 2 different levels, right? You may see, I don't know, Alabama and I don't know who else is in Alabama besides Auburn, some other school, whatever the case may be. But here's the part I like the most, where he talked about the financial literacy part of it. We're not there just for football. We're there for beyond football, where you're trying to put other things together, right? And here's the only thing I'll say about that. I guess I won't say it's pushback, but the reality is, unfortunately, every coach is not like Fran Brown and maybe even Coach Prime. They don't care if these kids got financial literacy. Unfortunately, they don't care. They don't care if these players go out here and blow all their money. They don't care if they don't have a financial plan. Man, you here to play football, and because I got to get you an NIL deal and whatever, we'll do that. But if you blow it, you blow it. If you don't, you don't. There's a bunch of coaches out here in the world like that. There's a bunch of people in the world out here like that. They're out here. You are employee number 72. You're employee number 15. You're here for today, going tomorrow. And we see that in the transfer portal. If you can't do anything for this program, you got to dip. Might be a nice guy, but you got to go. You got to go. And that's everywhere. I don't care who you are, what program you are, because at the end of the day, the machine still must run. I don't know all of the players for Syracuse, but I'll speak to this. I think Trevor Woods was a nice guy. But what happened? You got to go, bro. You don't have what we need. Does that mean Prime doesn't care? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I can't speak to his mindset. But at the end of the day, you want to try to take care of those who are going to take care of you. And those who take care of you, I mean, as players, are the ones who can play. And the ones who can't, you got to go bye-bye. I don't have a lot of space for you. So that's just how I look at it. 862-799-9956. Go ahead and call on in. Let's talk about it. Let's see what your thoughts are. And do you think that this could be something going moving forward? Also, when we talk about Coach Prime's his contract, do you believe that him getting paid $10+ million, was it worth it? Do you think he deserves it? Do you think he earned it? Right? There's a difference. I believe I was watching Coach JB and Smitty, and JB was talking about there's a difference between earning and worth, right? And can you say Coach Prime earned that? I don't think so, but he's worth it. He's worth it. And so to me, it doesn't matter. Pay it, right? You got other coaches who have earned that. And that's how typically, I said earlier, that's typically how coaches go. You got to earn it. You don't come in as prime time. You don't have coaches that have that persona. Even Bill Belichick doesn't have that persona, even though he's winning and all of that stuff. People ain't flocking to North Carolina. Now, they may watch it, but they're not buying tickets to go over there. Let's call it what it is, because Bill Belichick doesn't have that same personality. He's not out there in your face. He's not flamboyant. He's not the one to push the envelope in that sense on the public stage, I'm saying. So that's where I am. Now, here's what I will say about Fran Brown. Last year being a first-time head coach, I give him a gang of credit. 110 game, put my Miami Hurricanes to sleep, messed up our dreams of going to the playoffs. But he is being very vocal, man. He is being very vocal. He is being very vocal, and I applaud him for that, right? He's not trying to hide under the radar and just coach. He's being very vocal about what he's doing at the program. I heard him talk about I think he said it called a Syracuse 60. I think it's called 60. Within 60 days of graduating, they're going to try to get you a job, right? So you don't just come there and play. I think it's called Syracuse 60. So a lot of coaches have a lot of good programs outside of football for these players. They got a lot of innovative ways to do things for these players that really doesn't get the limelight. So I'm glad he's talking about those things too, because when some coaches go in living rooms, they pitch that to these parents, right? They pitch that to these parents. Like, look, yeah, we want your son to know Downset Hut, but we also want your son to do X, Y, and Z after the game is over. And so these are the programs that they put in place. I did find something interesting in Coach Prime's contract. I thought it was hilarious. I think he got $200,000. Maybe it's me being petty, but he got $200,000 last year for recruiting budget. This year it went up to $300,000. I'm like, he's not gonna spend it because he doesn't recruit. He doesn't go to the cribs to recruit on the private jets. But I thought that was interesting that they upped the money. Maybe one day he'll say, hey, I'm finna go do it. But anyway, I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, if people want to call in, please do 862-799-9956. More than welcome to call on in. Let's talk about a couple of those things. I've been up here running my mouth for about 20 minutes, and I'll do a roll call as well. Like I said, Courtney Joe, a.k.a. Google Man in the building. Appreciate you. College Bound in there. Let's see. I guess Prod by Pack TV. What's going on, Cole? What's happening with you, brother? Normal guy. What up, Timmy? I'm joking. Nah, you good. 305 Berto. Hit the like button, people. Please do, man. And Normal guy, keep up the great work on the WREs for the 2026 class. I appreciate that. They back. We rolling with them, man. WREs, for people that don't know, is where we watch, react, evaluate. See, WRE, watch, react, evaluate to the class. And I break it down. I got my little special pen here. I can write on the screen and all that stuff and talk football and kind of break down some of these top athletes across the country and give you my pros and cons about them. And I rank them with different chips. Blue chip being elite, gold chip being a Division I caliber skill set, silver chip a little bit below, and then you got a bronze chip, meaning like no haps. You understand me? All right. Who else we got in the building? Juan says, what does Deion need 2 SUVs for, Coach Hayes? He can have his dealership. He owns KFC in the backyard and Tootsie's Cabaret all in his backyard, so Deion don't have to walk far. Man, look here, bro. I don't know. Same reason why people got 2 cars. Maybe drive the black one on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the white one on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday the day of rest. Hell, I don't know. Deion needs to have bigger aspirations, go into politics, run for governor. Just don't pop. Y'all shout out. Clint, online classes and Native American flute class. Y'all crazy. 2897 coming to you. Caller, give me 1 second. Let me go through this roll call. Normal guy, slap the Timmy at the NCAA for sure. Tattoo Terry, what's up with you? His statement could be about those coaches having been head coaches in the NFL. It could have kept it without the colorism. I get where you're going. I actually thought about that. I really did. I mean, I understand the undertone was about color. It was. But I also thought about the NFL tie. Yeah. Remember, all of this stuff is about delivery, and he probably wasn't thinking about it, but I guarantee when he sat back, he probably thought about it. All right. Juan Manuel says, Coach Hayes, all this talk about Syracuse is going to trigger me. I'm hot, Coach. You ain't hot as me, boy. God dang, 21-point lead. Mother. All right, 2897 on the line. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
Hey, man, Coach, this Google, man. I'm calling from another phone.
Man, Google, man, I'm going to call you the Google phone, man. Every time you call me, it's a different number. Yeah. What's up with you, baby?
Yeah, man. I got 2 phones on YouTube watching, and I got the television on, so I'm watching on 3 different channels. Hey, man, I'm trying to get out of views, man. Real talk, because if I could watch your ass on 1,000 channels, I would do it.
I appreciate that, Google, man.
Yeah, real talk. But now I want to tell you about Deion Sanders, bro. I remember telling my homeboy, But Deion Sanders, about 8 years ago. And I told you, I want you to explain yourself because you told me I was wrong.
Okay.
When I said Deion Sanders, I feel like Florida State dropped the ball twice on the last 2 hires. They should have signed Deion Sanders. Now, Coach, hang on, I'm going to slow down because I want to stutter. I've always been a freaking visionary. I could see that happening. I can see Florida State selling out and getting out of players. Deion Sanders is a walking legend, icon. He's like a Michael Jordan or Bo Sanders, Bo Jackson back when they were playing. And think that Deion Sanders about 6 years old. Just think if they would have got him 10 years ago. He's even younger. And also, Deion Sanders capitalized on that coach, on the glasses. So, what I'm trying to tell you, Deion Sanders is like, bro, I just feel like Florida State should have signed him then. And now also look at the what they call that, the domino effect. Eddie George coaching at Bowling Green now.
Okay.
Because Deion Sanders signed to go coach Jackson State. And then Eddie George, who was a well-known player, he signed to go coach what? Tennessee State? Signed up for 3 years. And so what I'm trying to tell you, hey man, I just feel like some of these players. Now, I also see, thing about it was back then my homeboy would think the same way you would think. Oh, just because he played don't mean woo. Hey man, I feel like this. GMs, coach, I feel like I could be a GM. Well, some of these GMs be getting fired left and right. Don't know what they're doing. Give me a shot. Give me a shot to be a GM. Hey man, at the end of the day,
You are a GM.
Like nothing but
Hold on. You are a GM. You Google man. GM.
I know
Google
that,
man.
You're right, coach. You're right, but I'm talking real talk though, coach.
Hold on, but let me slow down for a second. Hold on, let me slow down for a second because 2 things happened. First time you came on here and you said, Coach, you need to explain yourself. Now, I don't know if you saw, but there was somebody else who challenged me to explain myself, and I explained myself, I think, quite well on that video. I don't know if you saw it when I had to take somebody.
I must have missed that one.
Oh, it came out. Go check it out.
No.
No, Tiger Ribs was good.
Now.
I am.
We got time.
No, we got number time. We got number time. So when you said, I said that Coach Prime wasn't going to do well because he was a good player. You have to remember this. I never said he wasn't going to do well. This is what I gave you. I said that coaches who typically were or people who were great athletes don't be great coaches. But I didn't say that Deion could do that.
Right about that.
Right? I said that we don't know. Remember, I always say we don't know. I just gave the possibility of both sides of the coin. See, some people stand on the coin, but I can't put the cart before the horse all the time because if I don't know something, I would never stand up here and tell you that I know it. I just give you both sides of the coin. It's either heads or tail. We know it's going to be one or the other, right? Yeah. So I'll say, hey, Prime may do a good job. He may not. But when you typically think about this. Let me ask you this. How many coaches you know have coached are in the same realm? I won't even go that high. Are Pro Bowlers. I won't even say they're Hall of Famers. They were 2 or 3 time Pro Bowlers.
Not at all. But see, coach, believe you me, I understand about coaching. Like, for example, like some of the best coaches probably played, for example, like Phil Jackson. I think he played for the Knicks.
Okay.
But he probably averaged between he averaged like 4 or 5 points a game. Now he's a great coach, but what I'm trying to tell you is this though. Now this is one player. I'm not talking about all the players.
Okay.
But Deion Sanders. See, so what I'm trying to tell you is this. I can definitely see what's going on. What I'm trying to tell you this, like what's going on now in Colorado. I had that visionary back then in Florida State too. They're even more in Florida State because Deion Sanders is going to bring everybody in the world, white players, parents, black players, and most of the kids come from high school is black players, but white people too. Everybody knows Deion Sanders. And so what I'm trying to tell you was this. They were going to fly to Florida State. First of all, you got to think, 8-9 years ago, when Florida State first got the ball, Florida State was a better spot than Colorado was, probably like 10 times over. If they were signed Deion Sanders back then, bro, because think about it was this. Now I'm telling you, what I'm trying to tell you is this. Let's say I was the AD at Florida State back then. I would call Deion Sanders because he was coaching him. I would ask him, "Do you want to come coach her?" Deion Sanders would have said yes, and I'm thinking by now Florida State could have won by 2 championships. Because you got to think, Florida.
So hold on, Google
get
man.
all the players from Florida.
I know, but Google man, hold on, slow down for a second. Slow down. Now, this is what I talked about. And I remember saying this with Florida State. I hear what you're saying. And I always tell people, you can connect the dots in life going backwards, but never forwards. Right? I got it.
Yeah.
We say this today with all confidence because of what we're seeing. I understand that. But when you're looking at these major colleges and you're looking at people's jobs on the lines, and I know that he's Deion Sanders, and I understand that. But do you hire this guy with the no experience? Just hear me out for a second. Take the emotion, take the fandom out, and let's just think business. Business. At Florida State, do you take the guy that hasn't even been on that battlefield from a coaching perspective? Just the business side. This is not the prime. I'm just saying, as a multi-million-dollar business in the Florida State football program, can they take that leap of faith? And if it doesn't work, it's catastrophic. It's because they weren't bottom of the barrel. Florida State at that time, they were bad, but they weren't bottom of the barrel.
I know that.
Okay.
Now, what I'm trying to tell you, Coach. Now, believe you me, I told you, I watch sports all day long.
Okay.
I know that was it. I knew, and at that time, I knew that Deion Sanders had never coached college football. But what I'm trying to tell you was this: if I was an AD, I would have put it on the line. And if it fails, I get fired. Cool, I can live with that because I'm trying to tell you, I had a
but you have to remember this. But yeah, I'm sorry, Google man, but you have to remember this. It ain't just the AD's call. You got to have a board of trustees that sign off on this. There's a lot more that goes into this. It ain't just a one-man call here. Yeah, the AD may be the front man, but you got to remember there's a board of trustees that have to sign off on these major hires like this. Like it's not just hey, I got his resume off LinkedIn, come in to be my secretary. Like it's a lot. Think about just his contract. Then hold on. His contract at Colorado had to be approved by the Board of Regents.
Right on. Well, of course. What I'm trying to tell you was this. If it was my call, freak everybody else. If it was my call, I'd have signed up Deion Sanders 8, 9, 10 years ago, whatever year they hired to do Nate Taggart. Real talk. Because back then in Florida State wasn't that bad back then.
I know.
And so what I'm trying to tell you was this. Deion Sanders came in there and the revenue he got at Colorado. Now think about Deion Sanders right now is this. You were right. Deion Sanders got paid because Colorado is flooded with cash now because he's there. He could have did the same thing in Florida State.
I know.
Another thing in Florida State is this. But also he got also I'm thinking that Florida State. If Florida State, he would have got better players coming out even faster. And Florida State, put it like this: by his fifth season at Florida State, fourth or fifth season, they would have been in a national championship.
I got you. Google man, I got you. 57-16 coming. You give me a second. I got you, Google man. I understand that. But again, we're connecting the dots going backwards, right? We're connecting the dots going backwards. Here's a perfect example. Who would have thought Jimbo Fisher would have been that bad that fast after he left?
Talking about
Jimbo Fisher at Florida State.
It Texas A&M.
No, even Texas A&M, right? So think about this. That's a great example. I was just talking about Florida State, but let's talk about Texas A&M, right?
Yeah.
He goes to Florida State. He does what he has to do, and guess what? He goes to Texas A&M. Nobody thought they would have been the way they were.
Yeah.
Nobody would have thought that.
Coach,
it's just this game is so fickle. This game is so like you just don't know. And when you pick these coaches, you can have some. Here's a perfect example. Let's go look at the Mad Hatter, Les Miles. Les Miles at LSU killing it. This dude went to Kansas, didn't win a game.
But that's Kansas, though.
No, it's not. Because guess what? Leopold comes in. Who would you hire?
I know that.
Would you hire, at the time, would you have hired Lance Leopold over Les Miles?
See. Thing about coaching, coach.
That's my point, right there.
See, I know better. No, I'm talking about. I know better. Because some coaches' names ain't that. What I'm trying to tell you this. Some coaches, some of these coaches got a name brand. So what I'm trying to tell you was Les Miles coming to Kansas had a name. The other coach could have been a great ass coach for years and years on high school level and college level, probably undefeated. But his name, what I'm trying to tell you, his name don't ring out. But thing about that coach was this: he showed up and pulled up and got Kansas on the ball. Now what happened with? All
right, real quick, you got to talk to me quickly because we got another call on the line. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, anyways, but at the end of the day, man, I just feel like a Florida State would. Okay, another thing about Deion Sanders with Colorado. I think I told you before season one.
Mm-hmm.
I told you what I said was I can definitely see Deion Sanders staying there because I remember when Deion Sanders' first interview, where it could have been the second or third interview. I remember Deion Sanders talking about the hood, like, well, what he said about Colorado was, it's so clean, no violence, and then snow and mountains. Deion Sanders had never been in that situation. So when they got the money, and nothing about Colorado, I kept on trying to tell you about it. At one point in time, Colorado was the school to be at. Also, Colorado is in the big conference. What I'm trying to tell you is this: Colorado, if he can just get the players to come there, he can stay there for the next 10, 11 years and retire in Colorado. Like, I don't want us to be because think about it, coach. Think about it with this. When Deion Sanders first signed there, everybody talking about he's gonna be there for 2 years, and then what they said was Deion Sanders gonna coach his two. Deion Sanders gonna coach his kid for them 2 years, and then they're gonna leave. And I was in like, well, hold on. Colorado got everything there. All thing he need to do is win, and he winning. And anyway, so and one time I tell you this, I really do hope Deion Sanders can play. I really do hope that he can coach out these next 5 years there and win a chip.
I love it, man. Well, Google man, you are a GM. You are the Google man. You know everything.
You fool.
I miss. Hey, I apologize for even challenging you. You are the Google man. You the only one. The reason you got your name is because you know everything. You understand me? Alexa knows nothing, man. But I got to get to the next call on here. 5716 on the line. Google, man, don't be a stranger.
All right, now, love, man.
For sure. I need you to tell me real quick before you leave Google, man. Where is the Oracle? Please Google her and find out where the Oracle is. If she's still on my mind, still on my heart, man.
I'm gonna try.
All right, for sure. All right, 5716 coming to you. Appreciate you, Google, man. Much love, brother. 5716 coming to you. Call or talk to us. Give us your name and where you calling from.
Coach Hayes, can you hear me?
I can. Who am I speaking to?
This is Vale, all the way from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Bill from Little Rock. All right, Bill. Talk to me, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, I've been watching you over a year. Back when you used to have a co-host that I really don't like him. He on another show now, and I don't like him on that show either. But anyway, I like your position on just about everything because you're fair. You're like me. You're a Deion Sanders fan, but you're not a super fan or a team member like some of these guys you play with. And I want to tell you, I want to be your agent. Do not debate with these guys or cook these guys, take them to the kitchen unless they have been coaches or have some type of football acumen. That's my college word.
I appreciate
because
that.
You're wasting your time with these guys. They don't show up. They don't have all they got is Deion is a super coach, and they don't know nothing about 89 Deion Sanders. I want you to stop wasting your time and your effort.
But listen,
because your hair is grayer. These dudes suck. They don't have nothing for you.
All right.
You be on cane juice and they don't be on nothing, and they don't have no points, nothing about Deion. They don't know nothing about football and the inside game of football. What you said was correct today. Deion hasn't coached enough to make 5.8 million a year, but he is Deion. There's no other Deion. Nobody can compare to that. He should have got 15 million.
Right.
For all the rooms he sold out, all the jerseys he sold, all the socks he sold, all the shoes he's selling, all these shades he's selling. Man, bump all these other dudes. He had a chance to come to Arkansas. Arkansas wouldn't even look at him hard because, of course, he didn't have no experience. I understand that. And nobody gonna hire you if you don't have no experience. You've been high school coach all your life. Mm-hmm. You go to J State for 2 years. You still don't have that big college experience. Mm-hmm. That's why Arkansas didn't hire him. Arkansas could be number 1 or number 5 by now if they had taken Deion, but nobody want to take a chance on somebody that look like me and you.
And can I say this to you? I'll just say this just in general. How many people, and I say this all the time, how many people would have pulled that trigger that was not in dire straits? See, Colorado pulled that trigger. See, and people give Colorado credit, but why Colorado didn't hire him first?
They had nothing to do.
No, hold on, don't miss my point now. Colorado still wanted to wait in Rick George, saw what he did at Jackson State and said, okay. So Jackson State is actually the school that gets all the credit for taking the guy, in essence, with no college experience and making him the college coach. Then Colorado, who was at the bottom of the barrel, said, oh, if he could do it there, we ain't got nothing to lose. See, Colorado waited to see also. Because why couldn't I agree with you? So my question is, and I'll say this, I don't know when Rick George got to Colorado, if he was there while he was at Jackson State. I don't know his timeline. But when Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, as Rod from Texas like to straighten me out and say, when he was out looking for the college job, why didn't Colorado jump on him then? Because they was down bad then too. But the reason they didn't is the same reason everybody else at the major college level didn't. Because they couldn't afford to take if it didn't work. But once he showed he could make something happen at that next level, and they say, hey, we the bottom of the barrel of the Power Four. Won't we give them a try? And it worked out because you can't get any worse, but you won't be the laughing stock because he at least proved himself at a particular level. And that's the same thing I'm trying to tell people about the Florida State, the Arkansas. Those institutions was not willing to take that leap of faith for a huge unknown. They were not willing to take that leap of faith. And most people in business are not willing to take that leap of faith. You won't even let me ask you a question. You won't even let a guy come cut your lawn if you're gonna be his very first customer. Am I lying?
You're right, because I gotta see what he do with somebody else's yard. Because that's how we pick based on your experience.
Right.
But here's the thing, and you said this earlier. It's not what about what Coach Prime did at Jackson State, in Texas, at Little League, at high school, a private school, none of that. And me and you both know when you in private school, they was playing teams that were worse than them. Right. They picked the worst of the bottom of private schools to play and beat them and win all these championships. And I say that to Coach Prime face if I get the chance to. But here's what Rick George did. He saw another way. How you hire somebody? How am I going to hire you to do a job? And I've never seen you win. Guess what Rick George had? He had a business mind. He said, if we get this dude that's a Hall of Famer, gold jacket winner, come up here, if he don't win but 2 games the first year, guess how many 21 jerseys or 2 jerseys we going to sell? And how many people going to be at our spring game? It's all about the what? The money.
But can I say this to you, man? What's your name again? Brother? Vail.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct, but don't leave out this part. Rick George also saw what he did from a coaching perspective. See, I don't know when Rick George got to Colorado. Maybe somebody can tell me that. But if Rick George was at Colorado,
I don't know how long he's been there, but he was the only one that decided to offer Prime the job.
They were at the bottom of the.
He didn't have the money.
Bro, they were at the bottom of the barrel. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you're right. He offered it to him because he was at the bottom of the barrel. But he still waited to see what he's going to do coaching. It ain't like he said, "Hey, Coach Prime, I heard you out there looking for an Arkansas job. I heard you was out there. You went to Auburn. Florida State ain't gonna mess with you. Come holler at us." Nope. What did he do? He went to Jackson State and he kind of followed it and said, "Oh, now he cut his teeth at Jackson State. Now he can help us get off the bottom of the barrel." And that's what I keep telling people. Yeah. We still get the worst jobs out there. Don't get it twisted. We still gonna get the worst job, and we're gonna have to use the SWAC of Division II as a stepping stool to get up there. But like I was telling somebody in Jackson State when he was at Jackson State the first year, I said, "Hey, this is a movement, and y'all better act fast and don't let this dude get away." I was telling the main media down there, I said, "Hey," because I used to call into them shows. I said, "Hey, y'all finna mess up. I can tell y'all finna mess up. Y'all gonna mess up. All these rooms is getting sold out. All these restaurants. Everybody know about the burger down there in Jackson. Everybody know about the oxtails. Everybody know about this and that. And y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all need to come together and put a little package together and offer it to him. Oh, well, we done offered him this and that, and he just that. Okay, well, I don't think y'all did enough because he got a house down there. I mean, y'all need to sweeten the deal, but you know, they did. Okay, I graduated from Grambling State University, so I'm a SWAC alumni. Okay.
All we do in the SWAC is rotate these old coaches. Now, they're starting to try to get out of it a little bit, but all we do is rotate these old coaches that are ex-coaches, ex-ADs, ex-position coaches, and don't want to get a new blood. Deion was the first new blood. I graduated from a SWAC school in 92.
Okay.
Deion was the first new blood ever in the SWAC. Everybody else go from Southern to Grambling to Tennessee State. They do that whole little travel thing,
It's a circuit.
and they go 6-6 or
I got
5-6. It ain't about the game and the sweat. It's about the pageantry and the alumni having fun and the this and the that. It ain't about paying the coaches to do nothing. They don't make no money in the SWAC. And Deion shook that boat. He shook that boat with the ticket sales. Oh, we're not gonna sell nothing but cash. We doing electronic. We doing this. We doing that. And that shook them to the core. I bet you all other schools in the SWAC got together and said, we gotta get rid of this. This ninja.
Got you.
ASAP.
Well, Vale, listen, I got a couple callers on the line, but I gotta go, man. Don't be a stranger. I appreciate you, man.
I like what you're doing. I'm gonna say it in a family way. Screw these dudes that's trying to get in the kitchen with you. Don't go to the kitchen with them unless they got some coaching experience or know something about football.
Real quick question. Hold on, quick question about the kitchen. Did you see the last episode where I had to DoorDash that dude?
I hung up because dude didn't show up on time. I hung up. I got tired of waiting on him.
Oh yeah, but he ended up coming. That was barbecue, easy work. But did you see my other man? Shout out to Big Tiger in the building. He had nerve to call Coach out, man. I had to roast him up too.
I saw the Tiger thing. I'm gonna tell you about Tiger. Tiger, you know why his name Tiger?
Shout out to Big Tiger.
Jackson State Tiger. That's where you get Tiger from. So he jumped from Jackson State Tiger to Colorado.
That's why.
So he kept the Tiger name.
I got you. All right, man. But listen,
he had always been he's not a Tiger. He was a Jackson. So he's following, but he's playing the heel. You know, movies, wrestling. He's playing the heel.
Damn, that's tough.
He's doing like your old co-host doing. He's playing the heel to get more views and this and that. And that's what he does. He plays the heel when you ain't there, and he got his boys on there. He played the heel. But everybody don't know that. Everybody, this is entertainment. This is all about entertainment.
All right.
Deion is gonna entertain us. You got me?
I got you, brother. I got you.
All right, man. Love you, man.
Appreciate
Keep
you,
doing
man.
what you're doing.
Love you too, bro.
Stop wasting your time on these regular guys.
It be fun, man. Don't nobody want to show up. Nobody want to show up. Listen, man.
They shouldn't because you have I'm gonna use it again. You have the acumen, the football acumen that they don't have. They're speaking in a love for Deion. They're not speaking in a love for the game. What are they gonna say this year? 14-0?
Well, it's not
national championship.
All right, you got it. All right, Bill. I love it, man. Appreciate I got to run. I got more callers. Man. For sure, brother.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
All right, that was cool. But most times, be honest, most people get in trouble not because of anything got to do with Prime, it's because they talk over themselves. That's the biggest problem. It really had nothing to do with Coach Prime. It's because they double talk themselves. That's 99.9% of the people who mess up is because they actually contradict themselves. It has nothing to do with Prime nor Colorado. We could be talking about broccoli and cheese, but because they contradict themselves, that's how they get in trouble. But anyway, I'm going to get to the next caller, but I got to address Stiff Socks up here. Shout out to J27, old Stiff Sock. They call him Gold Toe for short. Because Colorado had Carl Doral at the time, bozo. Damn, dog. Of course, Rick George had to see the vision first. It's kind of my point. This is a perfect example of this had nothing to do with Prime. This got to do with just double talking. He actually said exactly what I said, but I don't know. Anyway, let me get my man Shad on here. Shad, talk to me. What's up with you, baby?
Shad 1419 calling from Miami Gardens.
What's up, Shad? Talk to me, man.
What's up? No, I ain't gonna pontificate. I'm gonna hit the topics. I ain't been in and out, so I ain't been able to catch much of your broadcast lately. I hate that, but
it's all good, brother. I get it.
Grinding, but
for sure.
But with that being said, I'll just start with the spring game. Shouldn't it be a way that the teams, I understand that NCAA is still the governing body, but it seems like it should be some type of loophole similar to what Jim Harbaugh did with the satellite camps. It seems like it should be some type of loophole that they could exploit to make something like that happen, even without the NCAA's approval. I think that would be good to do. I know you made mention of something like that, but more from a intrastate perspective.
Mhm.
But I do think it does, it would make the spring game fun now, especially when you take into consideration, some of the coaches in the back of their mind, they're looking at it like, well, we don't want to showcase spring games because if we have a guy that may be on the, second string or something like that, and he has a great spring game, then all of a sudden he becomes a free agent and, he wants to renegotiate or he wants to leave. So, but as someone said, if a player wants to leave, they're going to leave regardless of their performance. But I just feel like it may be a way they should be able to get around that. As far as the Deion extension, it's good, especially when we take into consideration how this all started. Because it started by saying, well, we ain't got the money right now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny how quickly things, can change. But I do think that Deion, being the businessman and having the team around him that he has, I think that extension probably is not as much as it should be, which no one has ever paid what they should be paid. It's about what you can negotiate. But it was the whole wave about the Deion effect in terms of Colorado, in terms of merchandise sales, in terms of social media presence and things like that. And I really think, and again, this may be just thinking outside the box, but I think Deion has the ability to be the first coach that actually could negotiate a situation where I'm paid a percentage of all of the revenue instead of just a fixed amount. Because an extension of $54 million. I mean, how much is that? I haven't really looked at
$10 million. It's about $10 million
a
year on average. It goes up 11 and then 12. So $10.8 million a year on average, somewhere in there.
Okay. So, which again, based on just the impact that they had when they initially got to Boulder, like that might not even be 10% of what they did the first year, much less what they did the following year. But I mean, it's a move in the right direction. And I know this may be on previous shows. Like I said, I'm just catching up, but him getting other guys involved, bringing those former NFL players to the staff, getting, helping get their feet wet. I do think that is going to help. Because again, at the end of the day, someone has to be the vanguard to open the doors, to some of these guys, if that's what they want to do, if they really want to dedicate, not have a photo out, but really want to help the next generation of players. So, but all in all, like I said, I'll close out by saying I think he could be the first coach to maybe negotiate a situation like I need a percentage of all revenue.
I think that's interesting, man. I think that what you just said there, and a lot of people don't realize, right? Even these high paid coaches, what was it? I think Saban at the highest, they made $200 million just in football, and he was only making $10 million. He was only making $10 million. So what is that from a percentage standpoint? A half a percent? What is that? 10 million to 2%? He was only making 2% of the revenue?
Yeah.
So 2%. I mean, I'm just doing my math quick. Y'all can go check me. But 2%, he's making 10 million. He's making 2% of the profit margin. Like, yeah. That's, and you got to remember, that's 100,000 seat stadium. Colorado got a 60,000 seat stadium? So that's 40,000 tickets not being sold every Saturday.
Yeah.
How much money is that just in revenue? That, so to your point though, Shad, I think you got some great points. And he may be able to do that, man. Who knows the way this thing is going, bro? Who knows the way this thing is going? But the thing that Deion has that nobody else does is who he is. Every other coach has to earn their cash through W's and L's. He earns his just through W's, meaning his worth, right? What he brings, his celebrity. It's no different than if I brought Shad the rapper up there versus bringing up, I don't know, Cardi B I'm gonna have to pay Cardi B way more because of who she is, because of what she has made herself to be. And that's why I think a lot of people are missing. Prime made himself this a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
You're just cutting your teeth. You're just breaking in as a rapper. I may only give you $200 for the show. I got to give her $20,000 just to show up because of what she garners, what she brings, the attention she brings. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same process. Nobody, if Nick Saban doesn't win games, nobody will know who Nick Saban was. If Nick Saban didn't win championships, nobody would know who Nick Saban was. Nobody would know who Dabo Swinney is. Nobody know Jimbo Fisher. Nobody know Ryan Day. Their fame is because they win ball games on big stages and national championship. Prime already has the name. There it is.
Yeah. But yeah. Let me go back out here. We got a HOA meeting out here, so let me get back over here to the meeting down here in Miami Gardens. So I'm out, my guy.
Hey, I heard at the HOA meeting somebody is proposing that you can only paint houses pastel pink, no other color. Is that true?
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna move to Orlando. Then I'm gonna be doing that down there with Street yet. Both of the time stuff. I'm out with you, though. Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, Shad. You crazy as all get out. All right, man. I got two on the line. Sheila from Colorado. I miss you, baby. I'm on my way. And the Ohio player. Sheila from Colorado, you up next. Ohio player, don't you hang up on me. Ohio player, Sheila from Colorado, talk to me.
How you doing, Coach?
I missed you too, Sheila. Where you been, baby? Where you been?
I've been hanging around, just doing stuff, taking care of my mom, and just hanging out. But I had been looking for you, but you must not have been regular on this particular time.
Yeah, I come on Tuesday. I still come back on Tuesdays. I had moved, so if you see the setup is a little different. So I moved over to Christmas break and I had to get all the things set up and some other stuff. But yeah, we're doing Tuesdays now. So yeah, we back on schedule. All right. Mm-hmm. So talk to me.
Cool. Okay, so I wanted to ask you a question first about the spring game, because I was listening to I think it's Rufino and Joe, and they were talking about it because they were disappointed that they got denied that game. And they were talking about, I think it might have been Rufino that was talking about most of because it was another little committee that reviewed it and made the decision. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about the fact that most of I think it's like a 5-man committee, 5-person committee, but that 3 of the people on the committee are ADs from ACC schools, which is, I guess, what Syracuse is in ACC, and they didn't want Syracuse to have that opportunity. What do you think about that? Because they felt like it was giving them a competitive advantage.
Yeah, to that very point, yes, right? That is exactly what it is. And they stated that. They stated that. I don't fall for the kids not going to class stuff, whatever. But they did state that it could give them a competitive advantage because you are doing something other schools are not allowed to do. Believe it or not.
Why would they not be allowed to do it though if the NCAA said that they could do it?
I think as of right now, it's so close to so many spring games. Logistically, it's a nightmare, right? Coach Prime and Coach Fran Brown have probably been working on the back end for some time. Like he said, they had already thought about financial literacy class, how to work out different things or whatever. But if they decided right now, because most people's spring games are coming up next weekend, not this weekend coming, but the following weekend and so forth. So it's very close. So logistically, it's probably going to be a nightmare. If I open the door right now and say, hey, everybody can do this, and these 2 teams have kind of already been in the works, they also have a head start. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying what is just hypothetically because I don't really know. Now, next year, if they put it to the table and everybody say okay, then everybody knows what's going on, because now you got to also find games, right? Not only the fact you got to get the logistics, who would want to play who in 2 weeks? Do we travel to y'all? Y'all travel to us. Do we come here? Do we go in state, out of state? Like I think with such short notice, it becomes a logistical nightmare right there. That's just my opinion.
But what about the thing about the guys that made a decision being in the ACC and not wanting Syracuse particularly? That's what I'm talking about.
Correct. Same thing, right? Same thing.
Well, I just think that, if they, and I agree that it probably was short notice for them, but we'll see what happens next year if they can, because still it may be schools that don't think it's the right thing, or that their place of employment may not think that it's a good thing to do, or may not want to spend the money. So but I don't think that should impact the decisions that other schools get to make.
Correct. I think once you open it up, right, there you go. I think once you open it up and you want to do it, then it's your choice whether you do it or not. Some coaches don't want to do it. And they, just like right now in the spring game, in essence, you got teams that are not having quote unquote spring games, right? You don't have to have it, but it is available for all teams to have it. Now it's up to you if you want to do it or not, but the option is there for you to do it. So I think that's the biggest concern as of right now, Sheila. And to kind of answer your question maybe a little bit more clear, the guy that was on the committee from the ACC, knowing that Syracuse is in the ACC, of course he doesn't want them to have that advantage if he represents another school. No, because now my school doesn't have that. I don't get a chance to go do it. So that's probably why
what's the advantage, though? What's the advantage?
The advantage is you get an opportunity to go play another school, another set of talent. You get to see a whole different scheme or setup. It may be very minute advantage, but it's an advantage, and more or less because everybody doesn't have the opportunity to do it. That's what makes it an advantage. Here's a great example. Great example. Watch this. When I was at FIU, I tell a story all the time about the barbecue sandwich. We had leftover barbecue sandwiches, Sheila. We gave the kids the sandwich the next day. Guess what? The NCAA slapped us on the wrist because we gave kids an extra meal that other kids didn't get. That's unfair advantage. As simple as that sounds. Now, if they would have taken those sandwiches home with them, it would have been cool. But because you brought it the next day, that's an additional meal. It's just that kind of stupidness. That's the kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. Yes. Well, I think they'll probably get an opportunity next year because there's really no reason. Like this year, the reason was it was too late and they didn't have enough time, all that stuff we just talked about. So hopefully next year they'll get to do it. And I personally like the reason why they said they wanted to do it. I think it helps you make a really good determination about what you have on your team too.
Of course,
playing other schools.
Of course, and
you know what I'm saying.
So stop right there. That's the unfair advantage right there, right? When I'm playing my own guys, they know they're guys. But because Syracuse is playing Colorado, he can make a better determination of his players. That's a perfect example of an unfair advantage right there. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see.
As small as it is, but it is what it is. But I don't think Prime and them even expected to get it. I think they really were just doing it to plant the seed. I don't think they, how you say something just to plant the seed, but I'm not really like, if we do it, we do it. But we're not expecting to get it. We're just planting a seed, And
see where it goes from there.
That's it. Yep.
Well, and then the other thing I saw on your topic is Coach Prime's salary, his extension, and I think that extension, as it relates to the football team as well, that's going to open the door for a lot of kids that I think wouldn't have chosen Colorado because of all the talk about him leaving and going here and going there and all that. I think that sort of kind of like takes that little some of that out the table, where you may see more kids going to Colorado because they have a sense of security that maybe he will be there.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course. Like you said, nobody want to go to a place where the coach going to leave or it's talks of him leaving. So that's why they do extensions and things like that to kind of hold them in place as much as they can. So no, 100%. I think you're 1,000% correct.
And the fact that he can get, I think the other thing is the fact that he can get those pro football players like Marshall Falk and Byron Leftwich and all those kind of folks to come and coach, and that's appealing to kids as well. So I think that what they did was, like you guys were talking about on the earlier, is a fraction of the revenue that he brings in. And I think that revenue, I know you were saying, you know, like he had already established himself as Prime, as who he is. But I also think that the majority of that is because he is bringing in so much revenue and landing all those pockets. I don't think it's more just about him himself. I think that plays a part in it, but I also think it's that whole financial aspect of it too.
Of course. And that's what I was saying, Sheila. The reason, let me ask you this. Why are you following Coach Prime?
Because I just like Coach Prime. I like
there you
what
go.
he stands for.
But there you go. There you go. Because that's my point, 100%. Because you already knew who he was. You saw him as a player. He had the reality show. I don't know if you followed that, but I'm just saying you had a chance to learn who he was prior to him getting this job. Before that, did you ever know who in the world who Dabo Swinney is?
No.
Only thing you know about Dabo Swinney is he the head coach at Clemson, and they won some championships, and they had Trevor Lawrence. Everything is straight football related. There's no other aspect about Dabo Swinney. There's no other aspect about Dabo Swinney's life that I'm only assuming this, that you know about except football. But with Prime, you knew he was a player. You heard his Hall of Fame speech. You grew up in the house, the cameras in there with his kids and his life. You went through the celebrity blogs and all that stuff with the breakup with his wife Pilar. Like you get where I'm coming from? It's a total different. That's why you have the quote unquote CU aunties, as they call them. I'm not trying to be derogatory. I'm just trying to say that's why you have a whole group of people that's following this man, because they watched him in a different aspect of life. They don't just know him for being Coach Saban. That's why.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I get that. But see, well, it don't matter now though, but because I used to watch Colorado, and then they got real sorry, and then I stopped watching them. And so I just started back watching them strictly because of Coach Prime.
There you go.
You know,
there you go.
Coming back. But, we'll see how it all works out. I think, even with the $54 million, because they were talking about, they just made, that's $54 million over 5 years. He made 2 or 3 times that much for them in 1 year.
Of course, but that's what I just said about Saban. Like like you say, you right there in Colorado. Who was the coach before Deion Sanders? Do you remember? Darrell.
And I just know that because they've been talking about it.
But ain't nobody follow him. Why everybody come flocking there? He a black dude. Why ain't nobody come? Because nobody knows anything about him except from a football acumen. They don't know anything outside of that. And that's
I ain't even know much about him from a football until he got fired. That's all I knew about him.
I love it.
That he got fired and he had a sorry team.
I love it.
But anyway, I just wanted to call in and get my little 2 cents. I haven't talked to you in a while. I'll be checking back in on Tuesdays now that we starting back up with the spring and the fall and all that stuff. I'm getting excited to see how they go with the run since they got Marshall Faulk, and how the quarterbacks do with the help of Byron Leftwich and the offense as a whole, because I think Byron Leftwich can bring some more different flavor to that offense because he's a good offensive coordinator as well.
There you go. Well, there it is. We're going to find out, and we're going to find out real quick. Sheila, I appreciate you, baby.
Yeah.
Missed you.
All right, then, Coach. You take care.
All right. Bye now.
All right, bye.
Shout out to Sheila from Colorado. I ain't talked to her in a while. I'm loving it. I got the Ohio player. Man, he plays so smooth. You're going to agree. I promise you. But let me get a quick love right here, man. Let me see what William talking about. I've been looking for you, Coach Hayes. But here I am. See if you need to hold something. Think Coach Prime may need a consultant for all that bread. All right, I'm cool with it. V Richie, great commentary, Coach Hayes. Hashtag see you aunties for life. Call in, please, V Richie. I would love to talk to you about this whole thing because me and Miss Sheila from Colorado were talking about it. And you are a self-proclaimed see you auntie. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'd like to hear from the women sometime in regards to how they feel about this. And I'm not sure how long you've been watching the show, or it might be your first time. I'm not sure. But I would love for you to call in 862-799-9956. Numbers right here on the board. All right. Y'all tough over here. Man, I got the man of the hour, the Ohio player. Play on, dog.
Hey, what's up, Coach Hayes? How you doing?
What's up, man? Sorry I had you on hold so long, brother. Talk to me.
Oh no, you fine. Hey, I like the commentary. I like hearing. Sometimes you can learn something.
That's right.
Listen. I'm just gonna say one thing before I get into Coach 5. The Ohio State University national champs. So hey, Tavon St. Clair, that new quarterback they got in, he on the level of Juju. I think he was the number one rated overall. And I see Troy Smith, Terrell Pryor, and JT Barrett written all over them. So hey, we coming again.
Hold on, but I'm gonna ask you a question. Hold on, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna see if you're a real Coach Hayes. If you support Coach Hayes or you hate Coach Hayes. Do you support us or do you hate Coach Hayes? Which one is it?
I support you. Support you.
So that means that you saw my St. Clair breakdown, the WRE of him.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why you think I mentioned him.
Okay. Well, guess what then? That means we need to clap it up for you, dog. I said,
and let's tell you something.
I said we need to clap
every day anyway. So it's all
I don't know.
Just modern day.
They say Woody Hayes got that left hook that's so stank with it. Ain't the one that
Woody Hayes was up. He was fair, but he was firm.
Hey, guess what?
He was fair, but he was firm.
That's why I know we related, because that boy that throwing the left hook on the interception. He got pissed.
He didn't play. So he was tough too.
Talk to us, man. What's up?
Like I said, it's 1A, 1B with Ohio State and Colorado. Congratulations to Deion Sanders for getting that contract. I think he's the fourth highest paid coach, and it's well deserved. In his whole totality, I think it's well deserved. And people got to understand, it's 4 full seasons. 4 full seasons he's coached. 3 times his team was tied or was in first place. 3 out of 4, first place. So that speaks volumes right there. So a lot of wins, he had to win too, because if he didn't.
Hold on now, player. You got to explain that a little bit. You said out of the 4 years, what happened now?
I said 4 full seasons. He coached 5 seasons, 3 at Jackson State and 2 at Colorado.
Okay.
But that first season was a COVID season. You know what I'm saying? So
like a spring. Like they played like in February or whatever it was, right? I remember.
Exactly. So really, that's neither here nor there. That really don't count. But in the 4 full seasons, he coached. 3 times his team was number 1 ranked in their conference. So even this year, they was tied for first. So you gotta give him kudos for that, because in that 16-team Big 12, really Big 16, I think they should have a 14 playoff. Because I think if they did last year, I think Colorado could have ran a table and been in the college football playoff. Because I really do believe they could beat Arizona State, like they did last year. But that's me.
Colorado was in first place last year. Hold on, now Colorado was in first place last year.
Yeah, they were tied first. It was 4 teams. It was Iowa State. They lost on percentage points. It was Iowa State, Arizona State, BYU, and Colorado all tied for first place. They lost out on percentage points because Houston had to beat BYU in that last game for Colorado to get in, but Houston lost, by 10 points, and so that's why they didn't make it to the Big 12. So they should have beat Kansas. If they had to beat Kansas, they wouldn't have no problem. They would have went straight in. But yes, they was tied for first place, one of 14 with the same record. So that's how they counted.
Oh, okay. That was new to me. All right.
So they were tied for first place. That's in the record book. Tied for first place. So
yeah, you got me on that one. I didn't know they all had the same record.
Yeah, 4 teams. BYU, Iowa State, Arizona State, and Colorado had the same. All 4 had the same record. Colorado just lost out on percentage points.
Gotcha. Okay.
But anyway, very long story short, he's well deserved. Like I said, you can make the argument that he deserves more. But 4th highest paid, doing what he's doing, that speaks volumes. Also, I was looking forward to that Syracuse, but then some told me about a few people was telling me, they don't think they were going to come into fruition with everything, because people think Prime is just running the show fully with everything. And, the NCAA got to step, put their foot down too. So, that didn't come about. But I'm expecting, good things. I like to recruit that Quinn, that number 8, that wide receiver, Quinn, what's his name? I'm talking about Quinn, number 8, that new recruit they got from Texas. He's Texas Player of the Year. Quinn Gibson. Gibson. I think, like I said, I think he's another Travis Hunter on the offensive side. I ain't said on the defensive side, on the offensive side,
Okay.
Because Travis Hunter, nobody's going to be another Travis Hunter. He won the most awards ever in college football history on offense and defense. That speaks volumes. I think he won like 7 awards, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So, wow. Yeah, and so, with that and the notoriety, and people have been trying to stream games. I mean, Colorado was so popular, they had to stop the streams. they canceled like 30 streams because even Georgia, Notre Dame, and Alabama, when it was ranked 1, 2, and 3, they were playing huge ball games. Number 1 ranked team versus number 2 ranked team. Colorado still was, games were shown over them and had more views. And like I said, the tube, they couldn't handle that. So. They stopped all the streams. So that's how popular Colorado was. So
right.
That's why I said well deserved for Coach Prime in his whole totality, because he has brought in everything extra. College Football Hall of Fame and NFL Hall of Fame in the same year, back in 2011. Everybody been knowing Prime since the late 80s. Even as a little bit of kid, in the 90s, I knew him. What I'm saying? He was just a guy you just couldn't forget. And he just had, and his actions speak louder than his words, because he was the greatest defensive back in NFL history, arguably, and some say arguably in college football. So he earned his stripes with that. And like I said, his his pizzazz, like he said, his pizzazz and his styling and profile, adds to his demeanor. And like you were talking about Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban and all the other coaches, they just bland. Great coaches, but they bland. Outside of football, Coach Prime is far from bland. So Coach Prime is prime time.
Can't deny that.
And so I like how he got Byron Leftwich, Marshall Falk, onto his staff. And like I said, he's giving these ex-football players chances to coach and and upgrade themselves. So if they want to be head coaches one day, they can. So and I like what he's doing with the ex-football players. Some people say it's Devin Hester and Ed Reed coming along. Now that's a rumor. I don't know. Nothing's been confirmed or denied with, confirmed with that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a rumor. I'm liking how he's getting these young, talented black coaches, into the coaching profession, because it has not really been an ex-player like that, on his magnitude, to win, be a dominant force in college football.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm not saying he's the best coach or even the best black coach, because I got to give props to Marcus Freeman, and Franklin, James Franklin, what I'm saying? So, but, he's on his way, and so I give props to both of them. They deserve the respect, Coach Freeman, went to the national championship with Ohio State. Sorry, I had to root against them, but that's how they So, but like I said, Colorado, they come in, they got a good squad. I think Juju maybe just learning this year. I like K-Salt. I think he should be the starting quarterback, all things considered. 22, 23 years old, vast experience, 20-4 overall record. He can run and he can pass. And Juju is only like 17, so his time is gonna come. So, but
all right,
it depends, and they still got to battle it out.
there it is, man. Well, Ohio
Yeah.
player, you play so beautifully, and I must agree.
Right on.
Right on, my man. Right on. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Good talking to you, man.
You too, brother.
Okay. I'll take it easy.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We got the Ohio player in the building, man. That boy that was singing on the thing, man. Spitting off them facts and stats. I don't know about that, but that's where we are with it, and that's what it's gonna be. I got Google Man on the line. You've been on already, so I want to take this next call if you don't mind. I got my man T from Baltimore. Don't think I ain't see what you sent me, T. Don't think I ain't see what you tagging me in, but I got a 5047 on the line. It might be the person I requested. Let's see who it is. 5047 on the line. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I am enjoying the commentary.
I appreciate it. Is this B Richie?
Hey, no, yes, I'm B Richie. That's my YouTube handle. But no, I've been. You came through my algorithm like 3 years ago, right? When Colorado Prime first came, and because I know you're a Miami fan. I know you are a Hurricanes Miami fan. So, and I like Cam Ward as well. But no, I shout out to everybody, the guy that just came on talking about Coach Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time he got his money. And he's really worth so much. His whole, his marketability, his whole persona. Because I wouldn't be going to Colorado. I wouldn't have went to a Colorado game when they came to TCU, when they came to Texas, if it wasn't for Prime. So, I'm a native Texan. So we here in the, Dallas-Fort Worth area, you already know.
Yeah.
You already know. And shout out to Quinn Gibson, K Salter, the guy, the caller before. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
K Salter won the 6'8" state championship here in Cedar Hill. So he at the highest level, so he definitely is going to be a sight to watch this season with Colorado.
Well,
in my opinion.
I can't wait. I actually been through Cedar Hill a couple of times. I got a buddy live right out there in Cedar Hill, so we had to see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
But here's my thing. This is your first time calling in, correct?
Yes, first time.
So I'm glad you are watching the show. A lot of people, I'm glad you enjoy the commentary, and I appreciate it.
I do enjoy your commentary. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. I hope you think it's fair and it's honest and so forth and so on. And we try to keep it, as they say, a buck. Isn't that what they say?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. That's what they say. Keep it, definitely. No, but I like you both sides. Even, even the commentary, sometimes I might be like, oh, Coach Hayes, why you hate? But that's okay. I love it. Because I love football. I'm a sports fan. I'm a CU auntie as well as a sports fan. Grew up with like 4 brothers and a daddy. That's 5 folks but I didn't have a choice to watch football. But anyway, no, I enjoy your commentary, and shout out to the lady that you was talking to earlier.
Sheila from
great commentary.
From Colorado. Yes.
I can't think of her name.
Sheila from Colorado. Sheila from Colorado.
Yeah. Yes, I shout out to you, Miss Sheila. But no, I'm glad Prime is worth so much more. And just watch. I mean, they had to give him that 5-year contract. Why not? Let's keep him as long as we can. They making a killing in Boulder.
They killing him. Now here's my question.
Gonna be like the little
leave that right there. I'm gonna tell you, leave that right there. Now leave that. Do me a favor. Help me out, because I've never had an opportunity to ask somebody, because usually speaking to you, as you say, you'll see you auntie, they usually be jumping down my throat for whatever reason. What can you define? What is the CU auntie? Like, how did that whole thing, like, where did that come from?
Well, for me, now it was, first of all, it was just from Jackson State. And when he came, I've been a Jackson. I've been an auntie since he been local, had the little Prime Academy. But when he went to Colorado, it's just a group of ladies. I don't really know them, but group of ladies like me, my sister's best friends, all of us locally consider ourselves as CU aunties, because we every Saturday was a party when Colorado played. And that's another thing. Colorado was on TV every weekend, so it was like a party. It's like a reunion or what they call a kickback. Oh, let's see what she do. Let's see what Travis gonna do. So it just developed into. We already go to the high school games here locally, to all the championships, basketball and football. Okay. So that was just nothing for us to support Coach Prime. That was nothing. That was easy work. So we all gonna load up. It's gonna be a bunch of us loading up to go to the first game of the season. I cannot wait because a lot of people know salsa, who's local. It's a lot of guys that play for Colorado that locally, their people are here. McKinney, Quinn Gibson. Oh, I cannot wait to see Q Gibson. Oh, I'm excited. But yes, and shout out to the guy who's mentioned Q Gibson. He is going to be a sight to see.
Well, I had to say to you, you know what? No, you fine. Can I tell you this?
I got excited.
Here's what I'll say to you. I can truly appreciate and understand your genuine enthusiasm for these kids. I get it. I understand it. I can see you smiling through the phone. I can see you smiling. And there's nothing.
I always
and I can appreciate that genuineness out of you, right? That is being. I can hear it. I think my problem when y'all be like, "Oh, coach, you hating?" It's the people that are not genuine that's trying to talk like you. That's my biggest issue there. It's the people that are not genuine. They're grifting. They know different.
Right. I get it.
But there is nothing I know I could tell you any different because it is oozing through this phone, through my headphones right now.
Oh, yes.
Your love and compassion, I love it. Not just for Prime, but for the kid. Like you almost Q Gibson. Oh, man, you almost lost it.
And then y'all don't understand the how deep it goes. My nephew back in the day, Coach Hart. Hey, it goes way deeper. And I told somebody, I said, y'all talking about Prime. I was going to his first club Prime in Dallas back in the 90s. So it goes back before he got with the Cowboys. So it's been a good journey. So when Prime went to Colorado, that was nothing. Oh yeah.
So hold on. You gotta help me out. Hold on. You about to teach Coach something now. What was the name of Coach Prime's club? What was it called?
It was called Club Prime. Thursday night, ladies' night, back in the 95.
Oh man, okay. Those were
good times. You know what? I need to get my own channel just to tell my stories. All the connections.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll do it right now. If you want to, you can email me later. I guess next Tuesday. If you want to come on and be a guest, you're more than welcome and just tell your Prime story because here's the difference. What you're doing right now is exactly what I was explaining to people, Prime versus other coaches. Prime was someone prior to his coaching. Most of these coaches been coaching since they was 21 or whatever when they stopped playing. He was a personality prior to. So your connection to Prime is when he had the club. You're from Texas. When he played for Dallas, what his impact was in Dallas. He helped Dallas win. You probably was sick when he left and went to San Fran. Those different type of things.
Oh
yeah. So I'm just saying that those are the things that why he has a fan base, and that's what I want a lot of people to understand. And I don't think people really grasp his reach of how far his reach was of people who may not have watched sports, because it's people that's just like you, but they didn't have 4 or 5 brothers. They just like Coach Prime.
Right.
And now they're starting to watch football because he's involved with that. But when he was doing a reality show, they had the direct TV and they'd DVR'd it and they watching that or whatever it was. And that's the part. That's the part right there. So like I said, you're more than welcome. I would love to just have a laid back conversation. And if that's something you want to do, if you feel comfortable, we do it Tuesdays.
Anytime, Coach Hayes. But thank you.
You can email me at coachhayesfootball@gmail. Very simple. It's right here. It's right here on the screen below me. Coach Hayes Football, or you go to coachhayesfootball.com. It's there. Email me. We can chop it up. Come on, and we just have a casual conversation. about it.
And keep doing a good job. Who do you want? One question I want to ask you. I know you're who do you want Cam Ward? Who do you want to get Cam Ward in the draft?
Well, we got to go first overall just so I can rub it in y'all face. We got to get first pick, first round. Come on now. If we don't do that, then it's a failure. Come on.
No, but I like Cam. I like Cam. He nephew too. It don't. Hey,
he from Texas.
I love him.
There you go. Yeah, he from Texas. Well, you all excited. Well, I hear you.
But anyway, I will get off the line. But hey, thanks again, and keep up the good work. And I'll keep following you, and I'll email you.
Do that. I look forward to it. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. Good night.
Good night. Appreciate you calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great call right there, man. Yeah, see you, auntie, to call in that didn't cuss me out. The last see you, auntie, I had cussed me out, and then I had to do a show about it, and then the other show went to hell because man, I appreciate the see you aunties in the house, Coach. I'm winning them over, one auntie at a time. Well, I'm super excited. All right, I got 8694 on the line. Google man. All right, Google, man, I'm coming to you. Give me a second. T from Baltimore. What's up, baby? T from Baltimore. Yeah, hey, before you start talking, T, going to put them up. Put your dukes up right now. Put them up. Put them up, T.
Hey, brother, I wanted to make sure y'all was on point. I just need y'all to understand what's ready to happen.
No, man. Hey,
in the ACC.
No, man. T. Put your dukes up right now. Let's swing it out before we start talking, man. You infiltrated my Twitter timeline with that foolishness, man.
I just hope them boys ready, man. I need them boys to be ready. I don't want them to be just looking all around in a blender, like what the hell happened, and he catching the ball, and it's gonna be bad.
Man, you ever had Panther pie? You ever had Panther pie?
Here you go with this foolishness.
You ever had Panther pie, T?
Panther pie.
Huh? You know what that is?
Is it better than cougar pie?
Nah, it's like shepherd's pie. A bunch of panther meat ground up. Yeah, it's ground up real good. You slap that thing on there. Yeah. We eat panthers too. You from the crib, you know what I'm saying? We eat all type of stuff. But anyway, what's up with you, T? Talk to me, man.
Nothing much, man. Man, Prime, you know I'm a Prime fan.
Uh-oh, here it goes.
But I keep it real about Prime. I keep it real.
Uh-oh. Sound like some hate coming.
So listen. I'm gonna start off with the contract. Let's start off with the contract. And then I'm gonna get to the NCAA. You ready?
All right, let's go.
Bruh, how the hell did CU still manage to screw it up and they gave him his money? As soon as they got off the field from playing BYU and haven't been to the bowl game since God knows when, and y'all actually got a real bowl game, why wasn't this deal on the table so that he can go recruit with that in his back pocket, telling the recruits, hey man, I just signed a $54 million 5-year contract. He would have had a top 10 class. They wait until after the recruiting season to sign this man. So now he under the pressure of he got to at least go to a bowl game.
So, okay, so let me ask you this though, T. You're talking about high school recruits, right? Is that what you're speaking of?
Yeah, because regardless on what people think, I get it, I understand. But even Prime, I think this last year he had 14 high school recruits.
Okay.
This cycle here, meaning he's ramping up. He understands the lifeblood of college football is high school recruiting. Last time I checked, the best real wide receiver in college football is a high school guy that play in Ohio, wearing number 4. I think you're from your neighborhood somewhere, something like that.
Talking about Jeremiah Smith? Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah. So I would think he would want a Jeremiah Smith if he could get him instead of going to the portal, trying to get somebody that's on their last leg.
Yeah. I'll say this because I don't have any logistics, and I'll tell y'all, if I don't know something, I don't know it. If I do, or if I have an opinion on him, I'm saying. But I'll take Dre, because Dre be trying to blast old coach, but I'm going to use him as a resource right now. He says, Dre says the contract been on Prime desk for 3 months. Now they was waiting on him to sign it. So basically, Dre is saying that Coach Prime is the reason it wasn't signed, not Colorado. So based on what Dre just said, Coach Prime may have shot himself in the foot in recruiting based on what Dre said now, because he's the end-all, be-all of Colorado information and news. So based on what Dre is saying is that Coach Prime is the reason that it wasn't signed 3 months ago, and he could have used that as leverage to get those top recruits. So Coach Prime did it based on what Dre is saying.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you and Dre. Y'all need to find something better to do. Coach Dre, you got to stop. Stop that. You don't know that. I don't know that, but I don't believe that.
I damn sure don't know that. I just read what Dre said because
I just don't believe that. I don't believe that 5-year, $54.5 million was sitting on his desk for the last 3 months, and he was just like, I get to it. I don't think so, because that money also goes into his assistant coaches.
Brother, I'm only telling you what
really railing for money for his assistant coaches as well.
I'm only telling you what Dre, the director of sports information for Colorado, said. So I only know what he says since he know everything.
So this the thing. Joe Klatt put out a report saying that Prime already had a contract out there. Okay, just because of the contract don't mean it was that.
Correct.
That is a top 10 highest paid coach in college football contract. That don't mean it was that contract. It might have been a contract. It wasn't 5 years, $54.5 million.
I don't know. I've done it with you. I have no idea. When he got the contract, I knew they was working on something, but I wasn't checking out. I wasn't pocket watching, as they like to say.
You know what? You know, leave it up to Inspector Gadget, man. I got some friends over there in Colorado. I'm going to make some phone calls. I'm going to find out the scoop, and I'm going to get back to you, Coach. So let's move on to the NCAA shutting them down for that joint scrimmage.
All right.
This the thing. I blame Prime and Fran because they thick as thieves. This wasn't something that they just dreamed up 2-3 weeks ago.
Of course.
They've been thought about doing this. Two things can be true. I think they did a bad thing by submitting it so late. That was just sloppy. But they did a good thing by advertising it and shedding the light on the reasoning as to why. And all of it came down to timing and competitive fairness. So I expect them to be able to pull this off next season.
Here's what I'll say to that, T. Here's what I'll say to that. I think Prime is too calculated, and I don't think he did do it late. I think he did it when he wanted to. I don't believe he wanted it to go through this year. It was to plant the seed. It was to plant the idea in the heads, because I don't even think they were prepared themselves. Let's say they did it earlier. Yeah, I'm just saying, let's just say they did it earlier. There's a lot of moving parts. You know, I'm just coming off of year 2. Remember, Prime going to spend a lot of time right now with the whole Heisman thing. He spent a lot of time with the Shador and Trav and them getting drafted. He's going to be out of pocket a lot, right? For all the logistics have to happen. He's got a lot of other things he got going. He had a book tour going on. I'm just saying he had a lot of other stuff going on. I think they wanted to plant the seed now, right? Submit the paperwork.
Yeah, it sounds like an excuse, but go ahead.
No, I'm not saying an excuse. I'm saying I think it was strategically done that way because just where I am, just how I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you got some stuff to do. You kind of push it off a little bit. I could do it next week, in essence, right? Because I got something really I think is more important, the navigation of my son with this draft and all the, you know. But that's just me, because I can't be the pioneer of something and it looked buffale. You understand? I can't pioneer this thing and say, hey, I'm really pushing for it, but I'm not 100% focused on it because I'm trying to make sure 2 is legendary. If you understand you get where I'm going?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
And he ain't secondary.
I hear you.
You like what I did there? I need to make sure 2 is legendary, baby, and not secondary, baby. Huh?
Oh, he definitely gonna be. He might be thirdary.
Oh, damn.
If they keep playing, he gonna be fourthary, fifthary.
Y'all tough. God dang, y'all tough.
Yeah.
But no, I just want to say that to say, you know what I mean? I think that at the end of the day, it's all good. But yeah.
But I just can't get at to him though, Coach, because Coach Prime been one of the busiest black men on the planet for the last 20, 30 years. He been doing book tours. That ain't new to him.
I get it, bro. I don't know. I just try to make it hype.
Bro, like I can't give him that. I can't. No. Coach Prime is Coach Prime, bro. He is not human. He is different.
Okay.
I don't care now.
Well, damn it,
Coach. Different. He took a 1-11 team.
Oh, stop!
And turned them into
stop
a 9-win team.
God. T,
going
stop
to a bowl game. Look, he's him. You got to give it to him. He's him, and he did all that book tour, half foot, no foot, blue foot, 9-win team.
T,
how you want to do it?
You got 5 minutes, bottom right. 5 minutes, bottom right corner right now. You got 5 minutes, dog. You got 5 minutes.
I'm just telling you. Look, he is him.
No foot.
I don't want to hear nothing else about.
Speaking of no foot, blue foot. Shout out to Shad. Shout out to Shad 149. Been a member for 18 months in the building. He says 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. The HOA meeting. Right. The HOA meeting is over, and unfortunately, they said no more charcoal grills. So I have to go get a propane one. Well, speaking of that, I just got a coupon book from Tractor Supply over there. If you tell them Coach Hayes at the register, you get you a propane grill for $99.99. So go to your local Tractor Supply. You can get you a 24 cubic meter propane gas grill for $99.99 if you say Coach Hayes at the register. Shout out to Shad. Anyway.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, Coach. I'm going to go to Tractor Supply now. Don't make me look crazy. I'm going to put it on TikTok.
Hey, go to the Tractor Supply and tell them Coach Hayes sent you. And you got to pick up the $99.99 24 cubic centimeter propane grill.
You got it.
You got my logo this on the side. My logo like this on the side. And for all y'all trying to Google it right now, it's not. It's an only in-store deal. It's not an online object. So stop it. Man, TA message. Who else I got? I got Google Man. I got another call. 8694 on the line. Now I got 2 more callers. T. Let me get up out of here, man.
All right. So look, real quick. I do want to say the hate that Shador is receiving. I hope this boy ball out Friday and show his ass, pardon my French, and show these GMs and these coaches what time it is. I don't think he's better than Cam, but I don't think that he should slide in this draft because of hate.
Oh, I agree with that.
Because that's all it would be.
I say this. Can I say this? Can I say this? This is my wish. This is my wish. Cam Ward goes 1. Shador, Travis, 2 or 3. Switch around. I don't care. That's my pick. Cam 1.
Right.
And then, like y'all like to say, 2A, 2B. I don't care who goes 2nd or 3rd. How about that?
But now, what you're saying is some stuff because Abdul Carter is him.
I know.
That boy is him. He is him.
No,
like for real. Like
I know. I'm just telling you.
He is that. Now I wish the same thing because I want to see them win. I definitely want to see Jimmy Hunt.
And here's the thing. And here's the thing. T. I'm gonna say this and I'll be done with it. This is why I get labeled. This is why I get labeled a hater because I can't pick on people like Rod from Texas for being wrong. Like, let's say Cam Ward goes 1st overall. Let's just say that happens. If I come on here and pick on Rod from Texas for being wrong, Because Travis Spider-Man Hunter is going to go first. Deion Sanders is Deion Sanders' son. He's going to go first. If I pick on Rob from Texas for being wrong, it looks like I'm picking on Shador and Travis. And really, I'm not. I'm really making fun of Rob. But I can't make fun of Rob without making fun of them. But he can make fun of me because he don't care about Cam Ward. See what I'm saying? So that's why when people come on the show, they be like, dang, coach, you a hater. No, I'm really picking on the cult member in Rob that I tried to tell him. It's not that I didn't think they could go first. You never know what the NFL needs. I've said that from the beginning. You don't know what the NFL, these people pick, why they pick whatever they pick. But if I make fun of Rob for being wrong, then there it goes. But T, I love you, man. I got to run, bro.
All right, brother. I'm proud of you as usual. Keep doing your thing. Love you, man.
For sure. Appreciate
it, man.
I'm
gonna keep sending you them clips too.
Yeah, man. Hey, tell JR to keep banging out there, baby. I wish him the best.
All right, bro.
For sure. All right, man. Shout out to my man T from Baltimore, man. I think he was one of the main characters on The Wire. He sound like it. Hey, yo, call Stringer Bell. You understand me? All right, 8694. You coming right after Google Man. Google Man, talk to us. This is round 2 for you now.
Yeah, first of all, Coach, I tried to like slide it in on the phone call, but I forgot you said that you said that you're gonna remember the phone number. Anyway, though, another thing about me is this: I just found out something about myself. When I be online, when I be waiting, when I be waiting to get on the social, just like the third, like the last 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. When I be listening to other people, I start thinking about topics I want to touch on what they were talking about. Then I forget what I was going to call in for. So, thing about the old girl, Coach, when she said something about how they get together, Coach, I got hyped because that put me back in the mind of the 90s because she from Texas. Everything moved, everything in Texas, or Texas football all day long. I remember back in the 90s, like in August, I tell my mom, I think I told you this before, Mama, I can smell the grass getting cut. Then I told my mama one August, I told Mama, I can see the dude on the field putting down the lines, and they cut the grass. Anyways, I just feel, I want to go. So football is the greatest sport because all these sports cool.
Okay.
But another thing about football is this: it take a good 6 months for it to come back around. The last 5-6 years for me being a Cowboy fan, I'm like, man, this next season I'm done, Cowboy. I'm done. But then soon as August rolled around, I'll be back on the train. Anyways. What I called you about this though, I forgot to tell you about my homeboy back in the days about the Deion Sanders situation. And you. Now, y'all be forgetting because he said the experience. But how about Arkansas? And so many coaching staff in college football and NFL, they're gonna hire a coach with barely no experience coaching, head coaching, a white coach, and they get fired. Arkansas head coach named Chad Morris. I remember this like yesterday. He's the coach at Lake Travis in Austin. Now he was there for 16 years. But the thing about him was he had no college experience. Okay. He ended up coaching for Arkansas. His next coaching job was Arkansas. He coached there for 2 years, got fired. So at the end of the day, all the excuses people come up with, hey man, nothing this. It's a word I just learned about a year ago. It's called
Google man, hold on now. You said he was a coach where now?
He's a coach at Lake Travis. He coached at Lake Travis for 16 years.
Okay.
Now,
hold on, wait. Excuse me. Now Google man, you know I love you. I don't want to do this, but I wouldn't be real if I wasn't right. I'm looking at him right now. He coached Texas high school football from 94 to 2009. That is a fact.
A long time.
Not at the same school, but we'll just say Texas high schools know how to go through it. In 2010, he became the associate head coach and offensive coordinator at Tulsa. From 2011 to 2014, he became the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Clemson.
Okay.
Then he became.
I didn't know that. I'm wrong.
I know, but I want to make sure you finish it. Then he became the head coach at SMU from 2015 to 17. Then he became the head coach at Arkansas 18 through 19. So
you're right.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
You're right. Okay. I jumped the gun.
No problem. I got you.
But anyway, now also, T from Baltimore. I think I told you before, man. That's my dude. Bro, I've been watching Baltimore television. Well, they shows. I watched The Wire. It's a so-called homicide on the streets. I first started watching it a good 6 years ago for the first time. Coach, I done watched all them episodes at least about 3-4 times a piece. Also, it's a so-called The Rock back in the days. You know the boy named Charles Sugden? Is so-called The Rock?
Yeah, I knew tomorrow the bald head. Yeah, the garbage man.
Yeah. All them stuff from Baltimore and all them stuff go, and also Baltimore Ravens. I like the way they play. Of course, I'm a Cowboy fan. With me, I respect greatness, and the culture the Baltimore Ravens play with, I love them. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is this: like, I can definitely see me living in Baltimore, because like, it is what it is, because they're real. It's hood. I live in the hood, so ain't nothing different. Anyway, yeah, man. I just try to call in on that point because but thing about it is though, it been so many coaches in the NFL that were not deserving at all, and they get the job and they be fired. GMs too. So at the end of the day, I feel like, man, I like at the end of that, coach, I will go to my grave telling everybody. I don't think I was right about signing Deion Sanders at Florida State because he would have did well, just like doing in Colorado. And but think about this, coach. Coach, I know the pushback. I would have gotten. But I'm just saying, if I was the AD or whoever made the last call, I'd have called Deion Sanders up and gave him the job. Plain simple. I don't care. And think about that. Back then, Deion Sanders probably coached like 3 years in high school at that time. Like probably like his second or third year coaching the high school team. But at the end of the day, I'd made that move. I love it. Anyway, yeah. So
well, let me let you go. I'm supposed to be at the 2-hour mark. I'm about 3 minutes away, and I got one last caller left, man. 8694 coming to you now. Google man, I appreciate you, dog. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
For sure. That's my dog right there. Shout out to Google, man. Canned goods on display. Y'all shout out, bro. Y'all got to stop this, man. Y'all got to stop this. Y'all got to stop this. Yeah, Juan. Hold up, Juan. You don't know what that thing bouffale, Juan. You don't know what that means. You gotta be from the crib to know what bouffale. Anyway, 8694, the last call of the night. I know you're gonna make it a great one. We'd had some great time tonight, great callers. I done met some new friends, and doggone it, I done met a CU auntie that didn't cuss me out. Hot smokes. Here we go again. All right, 8694, call and talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Yeah, you can hear me, Coach Hayes?
I can hear you. 8694. What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, man? Can you just give me the rundown of what was y'all talking about today? Because Google, man, he was just everywhere. He all over the place.
We basically were talking about, man, what's your name, man? What's your name?
I'm Herb from Texas, like Rob from Texas, but I'm Herb.
Herb. I don't know if you want to be Rob from Texas. He wear ostrich skin boots. But listen, that's my man Rob. But anyway, Rob is like Guillermo. You know who Guillermo is? That be with Jimmy Fallon. I think it's Jimmy Fallon. Am I right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think he was on that.
Yeah, that's like Rob. But anyway, so basically we're just talking about Coach Prime's contract, the $54 million over the 5 years, and the basically the denial of their spring game with Syracuse that they were kind of talking about. That's really just the two main topics of tonight.
Okay, so we're gonna start with that contract. So I'm guessing the question is, did he deserve the contract or not?
Well, yeah, it's up to you. Do you believe that he deserved or did not deserve? Did he get paid enough? Did he not get paid enough? Did he get paid just what he deserves? It's up to you. Whatever your opinion is. We're just talking about it.
As a coach, to be top 4 and have a top 4 contract out of all the coaches, I don't think he deserved that yet. But it's Coach Prime, and he generated all that money for Colorado. So I'm thinking they just gave him that contract because he generated all that money for him, and he made the program relevant again.
Okay.
So kind of like a catch-22 as a coach. I don't think he should be a top 4 coach, top 4 paid coach in the nation. But yeah, I mean, if you want to just add the Coach Prime element to it, yeah, I guess that's a well-deserved contract.
Well, that's kind of what I said earlier, right? And this thing was, Coach Prime falls in a separate category simply because I believe he's the only coach that his worth is outside his wins and losses, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at all these other coaches, I don't care. You pick any coach. You can pick any coach. What's your favorite football team outside of Colorado, I guess? What's your favorite team?
I really don't have just a favorite team in particular. I just like watching college football.
All right, what's a good team out there? Give me. Matter of fact, the top 3: Kirby Smart. Who is it? Kirby Smart. Who else? Dabo, Ryan Day, and who's on top? Who's the other one? I think that's it, right?
Yeah, Kirby, Ryan Day, Lane Kiffin.
Right, they all up there. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
Nobody has what Prime has, and Prime doesn't have what they have yet. So what I'm saying to you is, at the end of the day, Prime got paid because of what he was worth, not because of what he did. Those guys got paid for what they did, right? I think Prime's the only guy out there like that from a coaching perspective that's getting paid for what he's generating off of the gridiron, not what he's doing on the gridiron. If Kirby Smart didn't win games, he wouldn't get paid. He'd be fired. He'd be Jimbo Fisher. As long as Jimbo was winning, we're going to pay him. So they actually paid Jimbo to leave, go home, go away, don't come back. You see what I'm saying? And that's the difference.
Yeah,
right, and that's the difference.
Fisher was a national champion, though. So
he was. And look how fast you were a national champion, and they said, please go away. Because you ain't winning no more. Fortunately for Prime, and that's part of what we were talking about earlier in the show, was he brought people with him. He brought people that wasn't even watching. We just had a young lady that was on here. She called herself the CU Aunties, and a lot of other ladies who may not even understand the game, even some guys that don't understand the game, but they follow Prime. They liked what he did as a ball player. Some of these people that live in Texas, he had a club, maybe his whole involvement in the Texas area, the Dallas area, right? And then what he goes on, he starts the reality TV show. I'm going to make an equivalent right quick. I'm going to make a very good equivalent right quick. And some people could follow me with this. Coach Prime could have been the equivalent to what Luther Campbell is to people in Miami. Let me explain. Luke is everywhere in Miami. He's just a person to people in Miami. The kids know him because he's at the park coaching. The people know him. It ain't nothing to see Luke at the gas station. Ain't nothing to see him walking through the mall. This, that, and the other. But for everybody else in the nation, oh my God, that Uncle Luke, Mr. Me so horny, don't stop, get it, get it. But for us locally, man, that's Luke, dog. He chilling. He coaches high school football right now. He's a head high school football coach now at Miami Edison. So we have more of a connection to Luke than most people. Does this make sense? What I'm saying?
Nah, cause Uncle Luke, he acting like Big U. He talking about people got to check in and stuff.
No. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. I'm talking about the persona in the areas in which they come from. I don't know about no checking in and you got to pay taxes to come vacation in a free country. I don't know nothing about that. I coach football. But all I'm saying is that's the FIU coach.
Huh? I say you know about that because he got into it with Willie Simmons at FIU.
Oh,
somebody got to check in.
Oh, really? When did he do that? When did that happen?
This happened like maybe 2 weeks ago. You didn't see the tweets?
Nah, I gotta check it out. Them boy be going in it.
Man, you been missing out, Coach Hayes.
Man, you know, hey, I ain't gonna lie, boy. Coach Hayes drama free. Till it come to that football though. But no, I missed it. I'll definitely check it out. But I was trying to make the comparison, the parallel to say that Deion garnered a lot more followers. These other coaches don't have that. Nobody knows Kirby Smart except for he being the coach of the Bulldogs and winning games, right? So that's all I was just trying to say. Maybe I went too far to Cane Juice bite.
I know. I was just joking with you because as soon as you brought up Uncle Luke, that had came up.
Did it though? I didn't know they got into it though. I didn't know they got into it.
Nah, yeah, they did. It was trending. It was trending for a while. They had a couple of podcasts talking about it.
Yeah, Luke and Hill. Luke going at everybody here.
You probably talked about it on Hay Street with
No, I gotta talk the street about it. He ain't never bring it up, so I gotta holler at him. I ain't know. I really didn't. But when you said people gotta check in, I thought you were talking about some rapper. I know he did. I think he did. I know he used to talk about the rappers come down here and they don't give back to the community. That's what I thought you were talking about. I didn't know this is something that recently happened.
Yeah, there's something that recently happened.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Probably like maybe 2 weeks ago.
I gotta check that out. No, I do remember Luke was saying, you know, all these rappers come down here and party and vacation. And if you come down here, man, y'all could give back to the youth in the community. I remember he used to say that. Now that I do remember. But anyway, Angel, what's up, boy? Friday night gonna be a party, y'all. We're gonna do a night shift, man. It's gonna be the anniversary show this Friday. Be 5 years, man. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. But anyway, man, that's where we are, man. That's basically what it was, man.
Yeah, and then about the NCAA thing, I agree with Fran Brown with the comments that he made, where he was like, if Bill Belichick and who you say, Bill Belichick and somebody else,
Bill O'Brien, the guy at Boston College,
proved it.
The coach at Boston College.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien.
Uh-huh.
But I understand like why they did it, because they had, they did it too late, woo. But going into next year, they should make that like official to have teams doing spring games.
Yeah.
That way you don't have people like Matt Rule in Nebraska trying to cancel the game and stuff because he don't want people poaching his players.
I mean, it's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen, bro. So they gonna come get them. Hey, if you build it, they'll come. And big bank take little bank, bro. But here's the funny thing. Can I say this? They're going to still have a spring game. It's just not going to be televised, bro. Like, if people think they're not going to have that practice, you're out your mind. It's just not going to be televised for ESPN or whoever to come film it. They're going to still have the spring game. It's just not televised.
Yeah, everybody that said they didn't want it on television, they said they still had the practices.
Of course.
And stuff. I wanted to be on national television.
There you go.
So that players won't leave and all that.
There you go. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They still gonna use that data practice. It's not gonna be on television. But anyway, man, we had 2 hours and 9 minutes. And Coach tired. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a long day, boy. But we good to go. We ready to rock and roll.
I got one more.
Deion
Sanders, he gonna drop the 9 to the Saints. And my boy Travis Spider-Man Hunter, as Rob from Texas was like, he gonna go 4 to the Patriots.
And Cam Ward going number 1 overall?
Huh?
Cam Ward going number 1 overall?
Nah, he gonna probably go 2 to the Browns. And he gonna stink it up over there. Because they got that dark cloud, Deshaun Watson.
Damn. I don't know nothing about it, dog. All I can say is, see, like I said, man, I can't pick on Rob or nobody else. If I'm super happy for Cam, which I'm gonna be happy if Cam go number 1. I don't give a damn about no Colorado people telling me I'm a hater. But I can't pick on nobody. Because damn it, I feel like I'm picking on Shador and Travis. But I don't care no more.
Not a hater, you keep it real, but they got them prime levels and stuff out there.
That's no
they
grifters.
They can't take no criticism.
Them boys out there grifting. But anyway, we'll get it going, man. It's all good, man. Dog, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you being patient too on the hold, man. I know you had to hold a little bit. But we're gonna get it in. But I gotta get up out of here, man. Make it happen. Anytime, brother.
You had me waiting.
My bad, bro. My bad. It's all good, but we're gonna have a good time Friday. Come on through, man. Make sure you bring some of that yak with you. Huh?
All right, that's a bet. We do Hennessy over here, but
that's what I'm saying. Cane juice gonna be flowing on Friday. It's gonna be flowing. All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Appreciate you.
Anytime, brother. All right, man. Shout out to him, man. That was a good show right there. I appreciate that, man. That was actually fun. Man, so with all that being said, we said 2 hours. I'm at 2:11. That's cool. No problem. No harm. No foul. But do me a favor. You know the WREs are back, which is watch, react, and evaluate. WRE, watch, react, evaluate. That's where we break down the top talent in the nation. So if you're a fan of Coach Hayes or some of these players across the nation, we don't pick just Miami or Colorado. We talk about all these top dudes. Make sure you check it out, man. Hit the like, share, subscribe button, and the notification bell. All I'm asking you to do is just watch it. Hell, you ain't even got to watch it. But put it on, sit the phone down, go feed the baby, go put the dog food in the bowl, go to the back, whatever. Just let it play. The videos be around 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. You got to keep them that way for YouTube. Let that thing play so Coach get a view. That's all I'm asking, man. Come on. That ain't much to ask. You done spent 2 hours and 12 minutes with me. What's another 12 and you ain't even got to watch me? Huh? So, I'm just teasing, man. With all that being said, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Everything y'all do help this channel grow, man. And we're going to check y'all out, man. Tomorrow, we're going to have a very exclusive interview. Exclusive interview tomorrow. Listen to what I'm saying. Exclusive interview tomorrow about the Miami Hurricanes. I'm telling you, don't want to miss this one, boy. Huh? You don't want to miss this one. We out of here. Peace. Somebody pass me my cane juice. Damn it, I done met her. See you, auntie. I'm excited. Hot. Oh, because once they grin, I'm in, game begin. Oh, yeah.